Hey everybody, welcome to Board Game Heaven. My name is Raymond, and in this video I'll be taking a look at Doodle Dash by Chilifox Games, which is a party game for 3 to 7 players in which players draw images and one guesser has to guess what it is in order to score points. Before I start, I'd like to point you towards my Patreon page where you can go and support my channel. If you do, you can do so for as little as just $1 a month, and it is of course greatly appreciated. You'll get access to some Patreon exclusive videos on the Patreon page, as well as your name in all the credits of my YouTube videos. I'd also like to thank Chilifox Games for donating this game for review. So let's get started and open up the box first, then I'll explain the rules, and finally I'll share my final thoughts. So let's take a look at the box first. Doodle Dash by Buvap and Svensson, a game by Chilifox Games. It's a game for 3 to 7 players, which ages 10 and up, plays in about 15 to 20 minutes, and it's a mild game. And on the back you see what the game is more or less about. Of course, you're drawing stuff. So let's open it up and see what's inside. All right, so inside the box we find a sheet of rules in English with a setup, how to play the game. It's just a single leaflet with all the rules, so that is pretty easy and straightforward. We have a golden rod wooden component here. We have a wooden die with one stop symbol on it, and the other sides are all blank. So we have that. We have some Ziploc bags for the tokens. We've got 7 dry erase markers, even with some reserve erasers there, some spare erasers that you can use. So we have those. Then we have these sheets, of course, for drawing on. So that's nice with the Doodle Dash logo on the back. So again, 7 of those dry erase boards. We got cards, a whole pack of cards with all kinds of topics that you can draw. And of course we got tokens which punch incredibly easily. Most of them were already punched. So we have that, and you can put those in the Ziploc bags. All right, let's go set up a game. To set up the game, take all of the cards, give that deck a shuffle, and then create a common deck of cards, and you put 2 cards per player in that deck. So in a 7-player game you'd have 14 cards, in a 5-player game you'd have 10 cards, except for a 3 or a 4-player game. In that case you make a deck of 12 cards. So let's say we're playing a 4-player game. We'd have 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 cards, and the rest is returned to the box. Also give each player one of these boards to draw on, return the rest to the box, and give each player a marker as well. Keep the point tokens nearby. Place the golden cylinder in the middle of the table within easy reach of all the players, as well as the die, and then you're ready to play. In each round of the game, there will be one person who is the guesser, and the other players are all drawers. And in every round, you go through the following 4 steps in order. First, you find the word. Second, you draw. 3, you guess and score. And 4 is the round's end. Now, so when the round starts, the person who is the guesser, let's say this player is the guesser, then the other players are going to be drawing. That player closes their eyes and keeps them closed until the guess and score step. Then the drawer to the left of the guesser, so this player, takes the top card from the deck and flips it over for all to see, except of course the guesser. Then the guesser will announce a number between 1 and 7, still keeping their eyes closed. And then all the other players take a good look at that number. So let's say the guesser said number 2. They all look at number 2 without, of course, announcing the word. And then after everybody has looked at it, you give each other an agreement that you can flip it over again. So the word was pizza, everybody's seen it, and you flip over the card again. Now, as you may have seen, some of these words will have a star or an asterisk in front of them, and that's a bit of an advanced word which the rules suggest you leave out if you're playing with children and younger players. Then it's time for the drawing phase. The guesser, still with their eyes closed, will count down, give a start signal, and at the signal all the players will simultaneously start drawing. And then the person who finishes their drawing first grabs the cylinder and then flips over their card face down. And the second person to finish their drawing grabs the die and also flips their board face down. The person who finishes second grabs the die, flips their drawing board face down, rolls the die as fast as they can until they get the stop symbol, and when that happens, they shout stop, and all remaining drawers must immediately stop drawing and flip their board over face down. There is one exception. In a 3-player game, the cylinder is returned to the box. It is not used, and then the person who finishes first grabs the die. Then it's the third round where you guess and score. So that's when the guesser can open their eyes, and then the person who has the cylinder will flip over their board first, and then the guesser can make one and only one guess at what the drawing is supposed to be. So maybe this person who was the first to grab the cylinder maybe made just a real quick image just like that, and if the guesser guesses correctly that that was indeed a pizza, then the drawer and the guesser both receive 1 point each, which you take from the tokens, and then you proceed to the round end. Now, if the guesser was wrong, maybe the guesser said, oh, this is a pie. Well, it's not a pie. Then the drawer holding the die reveals their drawing, so maybe they took a bit more time and they drew something like this, like that, and maybe some salami on it. And again, if the guesser guesses correctly, then that drawer and the guesser receive 1 point and you proceed to the round end. If that guess was wrong again, then all the remaining drawers, and in a 3-player game you'd already be done, and in a 4-player game there's only one remaining drawer, but in a 5, 6, or 7-player game there's multiple people still left over. They will reveal their drawing all at the same time, and a third and final guess is made by the guesser. Now, if the guess was wrong again, no players receive any points this round, but if the guesser guesses correctly that it was indeed a pizza, then all the remaining drawers will get 1 point plus the guesser. So after all that, you return the cylinder and the die to the middle of the table. All players clean their playing boards with their dry erase markers. There's a tip that can clean your drawing. The previously used card is set aside, and a new round is played with the next player in clockwise order being the new guesser. The game ends when all the cards have been used, so all these have had 1 round of play, and then you simply count up all the tokens, all the points that players have gathered, and the player with the most points wins. And in case of a tie, the victory is shared. Some extra rules to keep in mind are that the drawers are not allowed to draw letters or numbers, and if a player reveals a drawing with letters or numbers, you need to restart the round with a new card taken from the box. You are, however, allowed to draw symbols such as an arrow or currency, musical notes, pluses and minuses, etc. The rules also state that if there's a word on the cards that is made of several words, for example, like table soccer, it's okay if people say, like table football or foosball as it is called in some countries, and the cards will often already suggest several words that are accepted for one of those things. For example, here, jacuzzi or whirlpool or hot tub. So the game is rather forgiving with that. And also all the words on the cards are nouns, titles, or names, but if the guesser says the corresponding verb, it would be considered correct. So a guess of dive would be correct for the word diver. And also, if the guesser says a word in plural, so for example, they say cables, that is also considered to be correct if the word was cable. But the guesser must at least say the words written on the card. So if the word was pillow and the guesser would say a sleeping pillow, that would be correct. But the other way around, if they said a watch and the word was a stopwatch, then it would not be correct. The rules also state that hyphenated words are not correct if guessed by themselves. They are correct when guessed in combination with the corresponding word before or after the slash. So for example, here it says at number 4, a record or an LP player. If the guesser says just a record or an LP, then that is not correct. But if they say, in a record player, then that is of course correct. Hints are of course not allowed, and if 2 or more players grab the cylinder at the same time, then the youngest of the tied player gets the cylinder, while the second youngest gets the die and then starts rolling it, even if a third player has taken the die in the meantime. And that is how you play Doodle Dash. All right, let's go to my final thoughts. So my final thoughts on Doodle Dash by Chilifox Games. Let's start with the components. Components are great. These boards, these tiles are nice and thick cardboard with a dry erase finish, which have the logo on the other side. There's plenty of room to draw on, so that's fine. The tokens are also of a standard thick cardboard quality, and they have the clear numbers on them of the 1 and the 3, so that's all fine. The cards are nice, they're clear. The words are printed on them clearly in black and white alternating, so it's clear to see when a number is picked which one you need. And the cards are not too thick, but certainly not thin. They're just fine, and you don't need to handle them a lot. You just make a pile of a couple of cards depending on the number of players, and that's it. So I mean, this is of course not a deck builder, so you also do not need to sleeve them or anything. They're just fine. I do like the big wooden golden cylinder that you can grab. It's big, it stands on the table, and you just can snag it like that, so that's good. Nice and tactile, plus the big wooden die that just has the 1 stop symbol on it, and all of that is just fine. The box isn't too big for all of these components, so it's not really shelf hog. It's okay as it is. Could perhaps have been just a little bit smaller, but that's okay. The rules are just on a single leaflet, double-sided, and are very easy to learn and teach. And you get, of course, 7 of these dry erase markers that also have a felt tip with which you can clean off your drawings again. So that's very nice as well. You get 7 of those, which is plenty for, of course, a 7-player game. So usually I also talk about the art and the theme, but of course in this game you are the artist and there's not really a theme. It's a party game. So let's go straight to the gameplay. Now, I personally love party games and I love drawing games. I also love word guessing games, and this is a bit of both, of course. So I also like games like Pictionary and you name it, and that's just all a lot of fun. And so for me, gameplay is just a lot of fun. I do like that this is slightly different in the way that one person is now guessing what all the others are drawing, instead of one person drawing and the rest needs to guess, and the first one to guess it right gets the point. So now it's the other way around. And I also like the fact that you need to be fast. It's called Doodle Dash, for a reason. So you need to be quick. You need to draw something fast and get the idea across, and then just grab that, because then you are the first to reveal your drawing, and you might score points that way. And if you're a second, you're frantically rolling to get that stop symbol, so you're rolling until you have it, and then you say stop. And that does give other people a little bit of extra time to continue their drawing and make it a little bit more clearer so that they can get points as well. So that's kind of fun, a little element there as well. And that is basically it. It's just a hilariously fun party game where everybody's frantically drawing and you get the most silly, crazy drawings. And there's all kinds of really cool terms and words here. There's like movies, there's Star Wars in here. You have words like a double chin or a mustache or a hearing aid, and you've got animals, and you've got technology like headphones or radio speakers. There's all kinds of fun stuff. Some things are very abstract as well, so you kind of need to figure out how you wanna draw that. For example, show jumping. You know, everybody's drawing a horse jumping over stuff, and yeah, there's just a lot of really cool words to discover. And there's plenty of cards too. There's a whole stack of cards. I don't know exactly how many cards there are, but there's quite a stack. Let me just check how many. It says 70 cards, 490 words, so that's quite a bit. And you can always, you know, make your own cards if you want to, if you run out of words to play. But you will be fine with what's in the box for quite a while. So gameplay is absolutely lots of fun. Replayability is of course also a big, as like I said, there are plenty of cards and plenty of words to choose from. So you'll be playing for a long time with what you have. And who knows, maybe they'll bring out expansion packs with just a pack of cards with new words on it. Shouldn't be too hard. I think this game is a lot of fun and it's highly replayable. Plays in about 10 minutes, so you can, you know, play several games after one another, and it's a great game to start the evening or to end the evening when you're done playing all of your bigger games and you just don't want to go home just yet. Let's play a quick game of Doodle Dash or two, and that's just a whole lot of fun. Language dependency is of course there. It is very much language dependent because all the words on the cards in this edition of the game are in English. So you do need to have a good grasp of the English language, because you can also not translate it while playing, because the guesser, keeping their eyes closed, cannot know the word. So if you're playing with people who don't know English that well and you have to explain to them what the word is, then the guesser will of course hear. So it is language dependent. So that is a little bit of a minus there. But other than that, I really enjoyed this game, and definitely giving it a 2 thumbs up. I love this. I'll always bring like party games to a game night, and this is certainly one that I will be bringing along quite a bit. All right, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And also, please check out my Patreon page by clicking the link in the description below or the icon at the end of this video. Thanks again to Chilifox Games for donating this game to review. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven.